Welcome back to New York City. Today's video is all about one of the oldest streets in New York, and that would be Broadway. The start of Broadway is just over there, and right now I'm in Bowling Green Park. This is the #1 oldest public park in New York City. There's been a park here since 1733, older than the United States of America. Yes, I am sitting down right now because I'm about to walk 5 miles, 8 kilometers along Broadway. The whole of Broadway is over 30 miles. We are definitely not going to do that today, but we're going to walk from here, Bowling Green Park, all the way to Central Park. It is 5 miles. We are going to see so many interesting things and famous landmarks along the way. Let me show you this park one more time because it is beautiful, and let's start our 5-mile walk. Bowling Green Park, and just over there is Battery Park. That is where you can take the ferry to Staten Island. But let's go to the start of Broadway Street. Before we start, let me warn you, it is a Saturday. It is 2 p.m. and there are a million people here. There is like 100 people in line to take a picture with the charging bull, but we're gonna get out of here because there are so many people. So the #1 rule of this challenge is I have to stay on Broadway. I'm only allowed to leave Broadway if there is something interesting to see within 1 block. I can't walk further than 1 block away from Broadway. So we're gonna leave Broadway, we're gonna walk 1 block to our first destination. By the way, how many souvenir shops does one city need? They all sell the same crap, just have one big one. There is so many souvenir shops in New York City, but here is our first destination. I was here a few days ago and there was one huge US flag right there, but now they have 3 little ones. That is the New York Stock Exchange. And to be honest, I have no idea what goes on in there. Is there money in there? I don't know. Is it just a bunch of people sitting on phones and computers trading stuff? Is that literally what it is? Because I have no idea what goes on inside the New York Stock Exchange. But I just assume every single person that walks by me in a suit is just rich. They're all millionaires. They all trade millions of dollars every single day. But this might be one of the most heavily guarded places that I've ever seen. There is police everywhere. There's security everywhere. Like, you can't even get anywhere near it. But that is the New York Stock Exchange. That is the fearless girl. So I just asked AI, I said, I'm 5 years old, please explain what happens in the New York Stock Exchange. And it says, all companies are built up of tiny pieces. Some people buy the tiny pieces, some people sell the tiny pieces, and they have helpers that help the buyers buy, help the sellers sell. That's literally what it says. But some people are a little bit confused because this is not Wall Street. This street here is Wall Street. This is Broad Street. We're going to leave the New York Stock Exchange. We're going to walk along Wall Street and check out this view of Trinity Church. Let's go back to Broadway. I genuinely want to know, does every single person that wears a suit and works at the stock exchange, are they all millionaires? I don't know, but Trinity Church on Broadway Street. That is so cool. There is a surprising number of chapels, churches, and cathedrals in Manhattan. I had no idea there were so many, but back on Broadway, let's keep walking. By the way, in a previous video, I mentioned that in England, we call this a zebra crossing because it looks like a zebra, and some people found that so funny. Looks like a zebra. How do you build something like that? By the way, local delicacies here, delicious. Across the street is St. Paul's Chapel, not to be confused with St. Paul's Cathedral. So 2 blocks that way is the World Trade Center and the 9/11 Memorial. I was going to make an exception and go there because the rule is only 1 block and that's 2 blocks, but I'm not going to go there just because there's going to be a dedicated video to that area coming very, very soon, so we're going to skip it. But yeah, just over there World Trade Center and 9/11 Memorial. Let's keep walking along Broadway. We have come to our next park on the walk, City Hall Park. Yes, this is where the City Hall is. There you go, that is the New York City Hall. That is where the mayor's office is, and that's where they have committee meetings, government meetings, all the important stuff, I guess. I've seen a few of these temporary chimneys and I don't really know what's it about. I know of course it's coming from the subway, but why? Why? Gotta talk about the weather in New York City just for a second, because it has been so hot here. Maybe you saw it on the news, but we've had over 100 degrees for a few days in a row, and we had some weather warnings, like if you're gonna go outside, like be prepared just because it's so hot. But the last few days we've actually had some weather warnings for thunderstorms and flooding, but luckily it wasn't too bad. It was very, very windy. Yesterday was so cold, but today it's absolutely perfect, almost perfect. I will take a few degrees off because it's a little warm today, but it is almost perfect. A nice change because it's been so hot and then it was cold, but it's nice today. Here is the map of where we are. We are here right now, and I'm still trying to work out, are the grids a good idea or a bad idea? I don't know. I was thinking if London had grids like this, would it be a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But we are going up on Broadway. Maybe when you think of Broadway Street, you think of the Broadway shows, right? Of course, we're gonna go past some theaters up here, but there's so much more going on Broadway. Like I said at the beginning, Broadway is like over 30 miles. It goes way up past Central Park. It goes through Harlem, like I'm not sure what's above Harlem, inward. It goes like way up there, but we're only gonna do a tiny piece of it today. There's so much more than just theaters on Broadway. Pretty sure I've said it in every single video I filmed in New York, but the traffic is insane. Like, the problem is way too many cars in New York City. It's craziness. There is a cop right there, and there are so many people selling counterfeit stuff right there. How is it allowed? I have no idea.
What about necklace?
Man, I thought it was one corner. This literally goes on for blocks and blocks. This is crazy. How is this allowed? I have no idea. No way, there's more. There's literally 3 blocks full of guys selling this stuff. Insane. How that's legal, I have no idea, but I'm crossing the street. Staying on Broadway, but gotta cross. It literally goes on for blocks and blocks. There's more over there, but I don't want to walk past it. It's crazy. I really wonder, how many cars does there need to be in New York City for them to limit it? Because it's just insane. Like, I keep saying it, but it's just craziness. Like, it's not fun for anybody. It's not convenient. It's ridiculous. Like, you've got to make public transport more affordable and cleaner and safer and everything, because you got to make people not want to use their car, but it's just crazy. Highly recommend you do not take these carts. Don't take them in New York, don't take them in London. Here's a trick if you ever come to New York, because they do have the grids, like the sun will move, that means the shade will move. So that the other side of the street, they're in the sun right now, so sometimes you have to cross the street just to get a little bit of shade, because it's so nice over here but so hot over there. Okay, Americans, English lesson time. Let's say this together. Ready? Adidas. 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 Got it? Let me give you a Chinese lesson as well. Here's a Tesla. Tesla in Chinese is Tesla. 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 Easy, huh? Chinese is easy. FDNY. One thing that is very, very good about, I guess, the US in general, but definitely about New York City is if the sirens are going, people will move out the way. That is not the same in every single country. That should be highly, highly illegal. Anybody that doesn't move for an ambulance, a police car, a fire truck should be arrested. Get out the way. Do you want to learn one more Chinese word? Starbucks. Starbucks. Xinbake. Xinbake. Starbucks. See what I mean? It is just gridlock. Literally, since I started walking, there has been solid traffic. And one thing that people might not know is I've only made it to 3rd Street. So here is 3rd Street, and 1st Street does not start right at the beginning of Manhattan. It doesn't. It starts a little bit up. So I've been walking for like 45 minutes and I'm only at 3rd Street. I have never seen a restaurant that sells soup and burgers. Just passing by 8th Street. If you go west 3 blocks, you're gonna get to NYU, New York University, and Washington Square Park. Wells Fargo. Sounds like a superhero. Just passing by Grace Church. You guys know I have a love-hate relationship with churches just because whenever I travel in Europe, there are churches everywhere. By the way, if you ride a loud motorcycle, 0 people think, wow, that guy is so cool. Nobody thinks that, trust me. But anyway, churches, I don't think any church should charge for admission. I think that's craziness. I think anybody should be allowed to go inside a church if they want to. Any religious building, really. Chocolate bar. I just imagine one huge chocolate bar in there. Or like a drinks bar made of chocolate. We have made it to our next park. This is Union Square Park, and there's a market going on. All kinds of cool stuff. Let's walk through the park. Here is one of my favorite parks, but if you want to see crazy people, come to Union Square Park. I feel like parks in New York City are very different places during the day and in the evening when it gets dark. There's a lot of people out today. The problem with markets like this is they used to be so cheap. Like secondhand stuff, homemade stuff used to be so cheap, but now it's so expensive. I think it's about to get a little bit more crowded just because I guess we're heading more downtown, so the Midtown area, heading towards Central Park. But remember before we were talking about the grids, and most of them are squares, but Broadway Street kind of messes it up because Broadway Street after Union Square Park, it goes diagonally. So it messes up the whole grid system. Just walking through Madison Square Park, and behind me is the Flatiron Building. It's so skinny. There's one of those in Shanghai too, but the one in Shanghai is way cooler. Doggy photo shoot. So you see what I mean about diagonal? So we have to cut through the park diagonally to stay on Broadway. Because if you go straight over there, it's 5th Avenue, but we want to stay on Broadway. Made it to our next park, Herald Square. It's a small one, but it's still very cool. If you go west, you're gonna get to Penn Station, Madison Square Gardens. Go right, you get to the Empire State Building. It is more than 1 block away. We cannot go there. Just passing by Macy's. I have never been to Macy's. Never. I am mentally preparing myself for our next destination. Times Square. Times Square on a Saturday is crazy. You should avoid it at all costs. Don't go there on Saturday. But we're gonna try and get through Times Square as quickly as possible. I'm not gonna stop. Just gonna get through very, very quickly because it's gonna be crazy. damn Daniel. We might have to skip Times Square, you know, because there is a huge protest going on. Oh my gosh, so many people. Nothing to do with me, political stuff, not getting involved. Let's see if we can skip Times Square or go as quickly as possible. Never seen so many cops in my life, oh my gosh. USA, USA. All right, welcome to the #1 tourist trap in the whole world. We're gonna go as quick as possible through Times Square. By the way, I just saw a sign over there advertising an Irish pub, and it said traditional Irish experience, fish and chips. Fish and chips is not Irish, fish and chips is British. Well, it's English, Ireland is not in Britain. Anyway, welcome to Times Square. I am sorry if this is the first time you are seeing Times Square in my videos, but I promise I'm gonna come back and film more videos in Times Square. But at this current time, I want to get out. By the way, don't take any pictures with these characters. You take pictures with these characters, they're gonna ask for like $50, $100, and they get kind of aggressive, so don't do that. Man, crazy place, crazy. Insanity, insane. The fastest Times Square visit ever. Wasn't as busy as I expected, to be honest. Welcome to Central Park. I'll be honest with you, I did not enjoy filming that video at all. The crowds were just absolutely crazy. So I'm sorry if you didn't enjoy watching that. I did not enjoy filming it, but I just walked 5 miles, so I'm probably still gonna upload it just to show you what real life New York City is like. But oh my gosh, I thought that'd be so much more fun than it is, but made it. Central Park. Thanks for watching. See you next time.